Hey friends, today we're going to be doing 4-10 and we're going to be talking about elapsed time, which you did just briefly in second grade. And we have a little timeline that we're going to use to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to be doing a lot of these together. So let's start with number 1. Terry began watching a movie at 5:45 p.m. Please underline that. The movie lasted 2 hours and 20 minutes. Then Terry spent 25 minutes eating a snack. What time did Terry finish eating the snack? Now, they have this little handy timeline here, and it actually does make it kind of nice, okay, once we get it figured out. So you can see that the timeline starts at 5:30 and it ends at 8:30. And then they have little 5-minute, the little marks in between are all 5 minutes, okay? So it'd be like 5:35, 5:45, 40, 5:45. So you just keep counting by fives. But our start time for the movie is 5:45. So the first thing that we want to do is find that. So if I know this is 5:30, then 35, then 40, then 45. Can you do a little arrow there and write 5:45? Should be the third mark over from 5:30 because that's our start time. And it's easier sometimes when you're doing time to add just hours, okay? So if I'm at 5:45, how do I add 2 hours? I say to myself, 6:45, 7:45. Okay, so we're going to make it even easier. We're going to add 1 hour at a time. So if I go from 5:45 to 6:45, and I'm going to put a dot there. Okay, so let's find 6:45. Here's 6:30, 6:35, 6:40, 6:45, right there. Can you put a dot right there? And then we're going to connect our dots with a loop. Okay, we know that that's 1 hour. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 hour. HR is just abbreviating. Now remember, the movie lasted 2 hours and 20 minutes. So far I've done 1 hour. Now I'm going to add another hour. So if it's 6:45, I'm going to go to 7:45. So I'm going to go over here to 7:30, 35, 40, 7:45. Can you put a dot on 7:45? It's the third mark over. Then I'm going to connect my dots, and I know that that's another hour. I'm getting there, aren't I? So far, I have done these 2 hours right here. Now I'm going to add 20 minutes. I know how to count by fives, so I'm going to count by fives for 20 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so when you put a dot right there, switch to a blue dot there. Okay, so then I'm going to loop over there, and that was 20 minutes. So I'm going to write 20 minutes right above there. Am I done yet? Nope, because then he spends another 25 minutes eating a snack. So I'm going to count by fives again to 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You should be right here on the last one. Okay? Then I loop over and I label how much time that was, which is 25 minutes. Okay? Now it makes the problem or finding the answer kind of easy because it says, what time did Terry finish eating his snack? Well, what time was it? It was 8:30, wasn't it? And we didn't talk a lot, but it also is p.m. So on the line, your answer would be 8:30 and then p.m. Okay? So because it's at nighttime, and they have that up here too. So you do want to pay attention to whether it's a.m. or p.m. Okay? So we're going to be making dots and then making loops to make it easier to figure these out. Hopefully you're with me so far. All right, let's look at number 2. Evan left his friend's house at 5 p.m. He had been there 2 hours and 15 minutes. At what time did Evan arrive at his friend's house? So now we're going backwards, okay? Because we know what time he left his house, 5 p.m. That's when he left his friend's house, but he'd already been there for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we're going to go backwards on our chart, okay? Because we know 5 o'clock, put a dot right here, and then we're going to go back and figure out what time he went to his friend's house. All right, so I have 2 hours and 15 minutes. So if it's 5 o'clock, I'm going to do 1 hour. What would 1 hour be? If I'm counting back, 5 o'clock, I go back 1 hour, it's 4 o'clock. Okay, I draw my loop and I write 1 hour. Okay. Remember, it was 2 hours, so now I'm at 4 o'clock. I'm going to loop back to 3 o'clock, and that's another hour. Now I've got my 2 hours in. What do I have left? 15 minutes. Who knows how to count by fives to 15? 5, 10. Put a dot on the third one over. Okay, and loop over. That's our 15 minutes. Okay. Now I should be able to look at my timeline and figure out what time he actually left. So this is 2:30. He left at 2:35, 2:40. What's that dot? 2:45. So they want to know what time he arrived at the house. That's why we had to go backwards. So he arrived at 2:45, once again, p.m. Okay, so you might be going forwards on the line or you might be going backwards, depending on what they're asking for. Okay, kind of fun, right? All right. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to leave another one for you, okay? Here we go, number 3. Color here so we don't get confused. Haley began reading her book at 9:55 a.m. She read for 1 hour and 35 minutes. Then she spent 45 minutes doing homework. What time did Haley finish her homework? So we're going to be starting at the beginning, right? Because they want to know when she finished. So we're going to be going forward on this one. So let's go back to the very beginning. She began reading her book at 9:55. Look at, they even put a little arrow here for us, didn't they? So that's your first dot, 9:55, because this is 10 o'clock, so 5 minutes before that would be 9:55. Okay, then she read for 1 hour and 35 minutes. We're just going to do the 1 hour first. So if it's 9:55 and I add 1 hour, then it would be 10:55, right? I think you guys are pretty good at doing the hour thing. So loop over to 10:55, that's 1 hour. Now I have to add the 35 minutes. So I'm just going to count by fives. 5, 10, count with me. Can you start on that first one? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Put a dot right there at 11:30. Loop over. So that's my 35 minutes, right? Am I done? Nope, she's a busy girl, isn't she? Now she spends 45 minutes doing homework. We're going to count by fives again, up to 45. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 12:45. Put a dot right there. Loop over, and I have the 45 minutes that she spent doing the homework. And now the final answer was, what time was it when she got done? So I need to look right here and figure out what time is that. Well, if this is 12 o'clock, this is 12:05, 12:10, 12, did you say 12:15? I hope you did. And then of course we look up, and she started in the AM, but she finished in the PM, didn't she? Okay. So I'm leaving you with one of those to do, guys. Okay. So read it carefully. Start at the right spot. She's leaving home at 12:45. So you need to look down here and put a dot on 12:45 and then draw your loops. Okay. You know how to count. She goes ahead 30 minutes. Then she spends 50 minutes. Then she has another 15. So you're just going to keep on counting. Okay, counting by fives until you get to the time that she returned home. Okay, I think you can do it. It'll be fun. All right, so when you are done with that, meet me on the back page and we will be ready to go. All right, here we go. We are going to change a couple of things on the back side. Okay, we work so hard on the front part, right? All right, so I'm going to say that this is number 2 is extra credit. Okay, I want you to do number 1 and number 3 for sure. Okay, when you get down to this one, number 4, it says shade the fraction bar to show the fraction. Well, the fraction, if you can see it right here, is 1/3. So you know that your bottom number is how many parts that you need to make. So I need to divide it into 3 equal parts. So you're going to do the best that you can on getting your equal parts. Actually, if you use the lines that are down here, guys, they kind of line up. So, and then you need to shade 1 part out of 3. You can do that. All right, and I'm going to say that this chart right here, I would like to see who could do that on their own. You could even draw a little timeline like we did on the other part. But I'm also going to say that this part right here is extra credit. Okay, so here's what time they're starting. They're starting at 9:32. Can you add 1 hour and 23 minutes? Well, it's easy to add an hour, isn't it? Because if it's 9:32 and I add an hour, then I go to 10:32. Okay, but then I need to add on 23 minutes to 10:32. Okay, see if you can do some of these. This is extra credit, guys, if you want to try that. All right, thanks.